So in this video, we're going to talk about the what you can expect for your first flight. And I'm going to go through everything that I experienced, surprises that I didn't really expect, and just things I've learned along the way to make flying just a little bit better, a little smoother, a little bit more cinematic, because that's what we want out of our drones, is we want to be as cinematic as possible. So without further ado, let's kick into the video. This is the second in a series of videos I am doing on learning to become a certified drone pilot here in Canada. My name's Jeff Shaw. I started DronerCanada to basically document this entire process from complete noob to certified pilot. So this is the journey, and this is the second video. So if you missed the first one, I'll pop it up one over here somewhere. What I'm going to talk about today is basically what to expect for your first flight. So when I did my first flight, there was a bunch of things I was ready for, and then there were some things that happened that I had no idea were going to happen. Just different things that I experienced. So first of all, if you're like me, you probably watched every single video you possibly could on YouTube. You're liking, you're subscribing, you're doing all that stuff. You're feeling good. You're ready to get out there. You're ready to fly, right? And then you get out there, you fire up your R2 controller. You bling! It's so loud the first time that you do it. Oh, hey guys, Future Jeff here. One thing you want to do before you take off on your first flight is you want to make sure that you bind your drone to your controller, and you do all the firmware updates that you have to do before you take off. Okay, that's it. Back to the video. Because, wow, I wasn't expecting that. So I'm like, oh my God. I'm looking around because I've launched from my front yard. I'm looking around for my neighbors because I'm like, that was super loud. And then you get your drone, you start it up, you connect to the drone, you wait for the home point to be updated. Very, very important before you take off that home point is updated, and you have the DJI website says to have at least 10 satellites connected for your best response to the drone and to the controller. I never take off with less than 15 or 20 if I can, just because I don't want flyaways. I don't want any issues that way. So make sure you have at least 10 satellites, more if you can, and make sure you hear the controller say home point updated before you take off. Those are two things that will, alleviate a lot of problems, and a lot of stuff that I see from other flyers is they don't wait. They get too excited. They just want to get up in the air and fly, and they do it, and then they, lose signal with the drone itself. There's flyaways. There's all kinds of issues that can happen. Calm, relax, get your satellites, get your home point updated, and then take off. So when I did that, I got up I took off my picnic table, and I got maybe, 10 or 15 feet in the air, and I was like, my God, this thing is loud. I wasn't expecting it to be so loud. So that was kind of weirding me out a little bit. The controller was super loud. I was worried about my neighbors like looking at me and whatever, because it's just, I don't want the attention. And then as I'm going up higher, I'm like looking at birds flying around. I'm like, oh my God, there's birds flying around now. Okay. And then I find out like birds and drones don't really mix. So the sound, the drone itself, my neighbors, birds, I started to freak out. So I didn't expect any of that. And what ended up happening was I got drone anxiety. I didn't even know there was a thing called drone anxiety, but apparently there is. And not everybody will suffer from it, but I sure did. So the way to combat drone anxiety is to basically just relax. If you're feeling unsure, if you're feeling uncomfortable, bring the drone down and just do it another day. And that's exactly what I did. My very first flight, which I will pop up right here, I went straight up 30 meters, spun around once, right back down, packed my stuff up, went back in the house again, and just went, huh, that was weird. And then proceeded to look up, do people freak out the first time they fly drones? And then that's when I found this whole drone anxiety thing. So weirdness. So that might happen to you. So then, fast forward another week or so, I take the drone back up in the air again, trying to get used to the sticks. I've done a couple fine-tuning adjustments on like the Gain and Expo settings. And if you don't know what the Gain and Expo settings are yet, that's how how the sticks react to your movements. Right, so you can smooth out those movements. So you'll notice on the very first video that I posted with that footage, it's really jerky. Like every time the drone moves, it's jerking around like that, right? So that's because the Gain and Expo settings are basically straight. And the way that you want to get your Gain and Expo settings, and you can do it for all three modes, right? For cine, for normal, and for sport. So you want to basically get like I read about, flattening out the curve, and I'm like, well, that seems like counterintuitive. Like, how do you flatten a curve? But what they mean is, so the way that the graph works, when you see your lines, you want to make sure that everything near the middle of the graph there, when you're looking at your Gain and Expo settings, you want to make sure that you have a nice kind of rounded bottom to it, and that will give you those smooth motions. So when you're going from left to right, or your yaw, it's another thing I had no idea. I was like, what the heck is yaw? That's the nose going left and right. It will smooth that motion out, so it gives it a little bit more of a cinematic look to it. It's not as jerky, and that's what you want. If you want to get really good at it, I think I only fly in cine mode right now, just because I like that slowness. Sport mode is like another level to me. 60 kilometers an hour, I think, is the top speed in sport mode. Not yet. So I smoothed that stuff out and then went back up again. This time I went a little bit further, always within VLOS, so a visual line of sight. And then just kind of, gradually did some stuff, and I got used to it. And, within, I would say 3 or 4 flights, I was starting to feel kind of confident about it, but still, miles away from where I need to be. The other thing that was really surprising to me was the fact that we just got back from St. John's in Newfoundland, east coast of Canada, North Atlantic. And the thing with flying is, obviously it's all environmental. You have to watch the weather, you have to watch the winds and all that. So, but on the East Coast, it is super windy. We went up to Signal Hill to do some filming there. And if you haven't been to St. John's, Signal Hill is like the beacon on the top of the coastline. It was a famous site for wars throughout the years. The 7 Years' War is the big one there, when the British took back Signal Hill from the French. I'm actually working on a documentary about it because of my visit out there, and I'll link that at the end of the video. But it's an amazing place, and if you can get to St. John's, get out to the East Coast, spend our Canadian money in Canada, do it, because it is awesome. But it is super windy. So for the entire week that we were there, I only got to fly 2 days out of the week because it was just so windy. But so worth it. Oh, it was so good. I'm already planning my next trip back because it was just fantastic. All right, guys, that's going to be it for me today. If you enjoyed this video, if you got some useful information out of the video, please give it a like, and consider subscribing to the channel. I will post more videos more frequently, I promise. But yeah, and use the comments below if there's things that you want to know or you're interested in regarding your first flights, or you're way past where I am and you want to share some information with me and the others that are watching this channel. Please do. I really want to build a community here at Droner and just share. All right, that's it. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Take care, guys. Fly safe.
Perched high above the rocky cliffs of St. John's Harbor, where the Atlantic Ocean meets the edge of North America, stands a sentinel of stone and memory, Cabot Tower, on Signal Hill. This fortress of granite has kept watch over the people of St. John's for over a century, and the hill it sits upon has done so for far longer. Long before Cabot Tower crowned its peak, Signal Hill earned its name. It was here, in the 17th and 18th centuries, that flags and gunfire signaled the arrival of ships to the bustling port below, a vital lifeline for a colony perched on the edge of the New World.